After Japan's surrender, no peace followed, just a new kind of war. The US and the Soviet Union rushed into the vacuum, not as allies, but as rival occupiers, while Tokyo bowed to American control. Much of northern Asia fell under the shadow of Stalin. General Douglas MacArthur landed in Japan on August 30th, 1945, dressed in khakis, sunglasses, and no weapon. He walked down the ramp at Otsugi Airfield, while Japanese officers saluted in silence. As described in Embracing Defeat by John W. Dower, he immediately took command of 72 million people and over 2,000 cities. Within a week, the rising sun flag was banned. A month later, Japan's wartime ministries were disbanded. MacArthur's orders were clear: rebuild Japan under American values, not Japanese ones. But farther north, Soviet tanks rolled into Manchuria and northern Korea. They moved fast. 1.5 million troops stormed through Northeast Asia in just 3 weeks, as recorded in the Journal of Cold War Studies. Soviet soldiers seized factories, stripped railways, and trucked home entire Japanese steel plants. In Harbin, Soviet officers hoarded Japanese textbooks and school uniforms, fuel for the future communist takeover of China. On September 16, 1945, an American officer in Seoul met his Soviet counterpart. At the newly drawn 38th parallel, we have our orders. We stay north, said the Soviet colonel. The American Colonel Charles Bonesteel had helped draw the line just 3 weeks earlier, in a Pentagon office using a National Geographic map. The exchange was documented in U.S. Army archives. Smells of boiled cabbage and diesel smoke followed the Soviets. In contrast, the American zone in Japan filled with typewriters, chewing gum, and jazz records from Los Angeles. East Asia, once ruled from Tokyo, was now being carved up by 2 foreign empires without a single treaty signed. By the end of 1946, over 100,000 Soviet soldiers remained stationed across northern Korea and Manchuria, while Japan's own military had been reduced to just 1,000 under strict U.S. watch.